Now, according to PNC Investments 2018 Annual Millennials and Investing Survey, that's a mouthful, men tend to favor riskier investments than women. Now, I don't know if I needed a study to tell me that. Testosterone alone is responsible for a great deal of the terrible scared money don't make none bets I've seen my friends make. Not to mention, half of those terrible bets was to impress a lady. Now, it appears there's actually more to this. When asked about saving, 67% of women responded that their parents encouraged them to save money. That number is just 58% in men. There was even a small percentage of men who said they embraced risk when investing, which almost has me picturing them playing Russian roulette where their life savings is constantly at risk of being shot. Now, we need to do better. Communicate to your sons the struggles of the broke man. Scared money don't waste none. In fact, I would like to offer my services. I ate over 1,000 Stouffer's lasagnas in my 20s and I live in a vacant. I'm using my ex-girlfriend's ex-boyfriend's ex-girlfriend's Netflix account. They call me the patron saint of I ain't got it. Now, I would advise folks to invest wisely and not put all their eggs in the same shaky basket. We can't enter into an investment scenario the way we would a bar fight. You can't just swing at the first thing moving and let out a primal yell. You actually have to be focused and disciplined. Now, I've never been in any bar fights, but I assume the same principles apply, along with keeping your head on a swivel. All right, we're going to continue this conversation on Facebook. You guys have a beautiful recovery day. Because I know where you're at. I know how you're feeling when you wake up today. You can do it. I believe in you. Get up, DC.